heading back in the woods, finished the project I've been working on. We had a few trees fall back here and blocked our trails, so now I'm trying to clear them out of the way. Here's the first tree, although it's not blocking any of our trails. It's the second piece of this tree that's leaning over me, so I haven't got to that one yet. It's not in the way, kind of is on the other side, but it's all right. The second tree is right here, blocking our ditch up. That's all the branches right there. I started chopping this one up and cleared a path so we could get through. That's all the trunks. So I cleared this out so I could get back in here. I'll get back to this. There's a few longer trunks right here too. I still have to get, you can see the debris pile. But this is passable for right now, so that's why I left it alone. Up ahead is the other tree, right there. That one was crossed over the path and all the way out that way. I'll show you. This big sucker broke off right there. Huge. Completely covered this all the way out into there. So been up here working. I had to cut a new trail through here to come back this way because it was completely blocked. So now we actually have another access trail, which isn't a bad thing. Have piles that are cut to size right that I can use to trim or line the trail. I have some that are sitting here to block this path. That's the debris pile from the excess, and this is the disaster it left behind. Because it knocked out this cleared this whole big section out for me. So once I get that cut up and a little bit more of this cleaned up, I'm gonna bring the rake up here, the York rake, and clean all this mess up. And I'm gonna make a nice little obstacle course coming through here with a bypass route. So one side right here, I'm gonna have some logs spaced out where the horses can climb over, and if you don't want to, you can walk right around here. And they both end up in the same spot over there. Started cutting, I just started pushing logs out of the way everywhere, but I didn't have a real good plan, so now I kind of do. So I'm gonna park this out of the way. I should have left it back here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and leave that for now. I was gonna cut these two trees down. I think I'm gonna leave them because I might be able to use that wood for lining the paths or something. Not a high priority right now. I think what I'm gonna do is transfer over to the other site, back in the woods further, and open that trail up that's back that way. Well, the trail's kind of open. I just gotta take out some of the tree limbs and cut that big old tree up. I was going to take care of all these little bent up trees and all, but I don't really give a shit. All right, so this is the other tree. It's actually two trees. I had already pushed that one back in there, voted out of the way, and then another one fell. Look at this one leaning here. So this is the one I want to clear out of the way, get these things out of the way. kind of clean this up, I can use these larger branches here, and the trunk isn't real thick, so I can use that also to line this trail up. See, it's 2 trees, both uprooted. Only one tree in question broke. That was that monster one, and all the other ones did this. That old tree there fell over, it uprooted. Trees everywhere. So now I'm gonna walk back over and grab the tractor and help myself start cleaning up. Got a good big cut already. I'm keeping the trunk long, well, manageable pieces. And the rest of this will just get a debris pile somewhere off in the background. But I can clump all this up and move it and get all that, move it, maybe put all this back that way. Keep the trunks over here somewhere and figure out where to put them later. Go get the tractor. They'll have a bit more cut. Some of these are still attached to each other and dragging long pieces that I don't want to throw away, like that particular one. It's a nice one right there. I can cut that off and keep this piece too. Seems like one back in there. That one there is fairly long, comes all the way out here. I'm gonna cut that. I did get one pile on this kind of smashed down, so that was a little bit of a good start. I don't want to go grabbing any of this yet until I get some of this clear. And then so just ran through a whole tank of gas in the chainsaw. That hardwood really chews up a lot of fuel. So most of this I can pick up. Just ground clutter now. All the way back into there. I ran out of fuel trying to cut that big piece off the top, but this is all oak. So we're gonna sit on this. I'm gonna make a nice pile with this kind of stashed back in here a little bit. Get to it later. That's why I went through and chopped this up and kept long logs. Even these guys here, good firewood. So I'll take my time picking through this, but I got a lot of it chopped up. And I still have a lot more trunk to go. But the goal was to clean all this up. So the camera got banged around a good bit doing that. But so I blocked off the path, just kind of made a trail in there. Made one there, make you kind of follow the path in either direction. That's all I got for now, but there's a whole lot more wood laying over here that I gotta cut up. Not today. Got most of it cleaned up though. So I'm gonna go down the other end by the entrance and work on those trees a little bit. Get them relatively cleaned up and get ready for the York rake. Bring that back here. Cut up a good bit of this. Climbed all back through there. We'll have you cleaned up, or cut a lot. There's a lot to cut, but the chainsaw ran out of gas again. So it's break time. It's pretty damn humid. So I'm gonna call it a day there. Well, with the chainsaw, use a tractor, clean some of this up. This is all oak too. So these cut pieces, I'm gonna stack somewhere nicely. So for this time of year, I'm basically done this project. I stopped filming. It takes too long or it's too much footage. But got most of the trees sectioned up, kind of set aside, trail lining, different piles and stuff. Wood I want to keep, wood that's just going to sit out here. Some of it I didn't clean up yet. It's too hot, too buggy, very, very humid. So we'll ride around. Oh, I made a couple ponds and stuff. I'll show you. We need more water, a little bit of low flow right now. So, all right, let's get to it. Take a ride. So this is the first tree that fell. I cut it up. I got it out of the stream area right here. Kind of lined some of the trunk. This is all black oak. I'm going to keep it. I just left it laying around because I'm not fooling with it until it cools off. Gave him a nice little trail liner. That's where we crossed the stream, right over there. I made a pond down in there, you'll see. And let's head on over to the next section, which is up that way. Alright, so this is our stream crossing here. There's not a whole lot of water running through it right now. You can see a little bit trickling. But I kind of flattened all this out, pushed a lot of the sand that way. The water's going to flow it downstream further that way, build more of a dam. I also piled up some sand down that way so we can walk the horses through here. Bug in my eye. And then we can get out over there where the log is laying down, and then there's a trail that comes back up over here. We'll continue on. So this is the area where the treetop from this big, really big tree came through and took out a big section of the woods. So I cleaned it up best I could. I got a stump to cut off with the chainsaw and stuff. I made a little obstacle course to walk the horses over, or you can go around it that way if you don't want to walk through that. Just give them something to do while we're walking. And then we'll keep going. This area here is usually fairly clean, just full of clutter. So I swept up a lot of that, made the trail nice, pushed it all over in the corner. The horses like to play in there, so I made a pond right there. You'll see it. And then I think what I'm gonna do, we used to get out over in that clearing over there, but it's very soft clay. So I think I'm gonna bypass that and come out over here, go through the stream, and we can walk up a ways and come out behind the house. There's a trail on that side of the woods too. Haven't done that yet. Wanted to get the tree debris cleaned up. Now I can get back to this stuff. It's supposed to rain next couple days, so finishing up, get cleaned up, get back to it later. This was the other area. Cut the sycamore tree down. Trail goes up that way, and it also goes this way. This is where the big tree mess was. Well, I've purchased another saw blade for the chainsaw, but it was getting dull and I didn't want to waste it cutting up a big trunk. And that's all oak. That lower trunk, the sycamore sitting on top. So I'll cut the sycamore off later and then chop that big oak tree. Getting a mosquito in my ear. Chop the big oak tree into firewood. That's the top of it, just sitting there too. I'm gonna leave it be for now. Got to cut up in manageable pieces that I can move and stack later. Again, I'll wait till it's cooled off a little bit. So we just did a big loop all the way up and around the woods and back down again. This is where those two trees are laying on top of each other. Also cleared that path out nicely. You can see it from the other side. I'm not going to go down that way. I'll just have to go back in a loop. So instead we'll go down towards the stream here. This is another decision point right here. This is brand new. So I'm going to go through here and cut this as we're driving around. This was our other trail, and when you get up, cross the little ditch here and get up to the top side of the hill, I got attacked by bees in the ground. I think there was a tree stump right at the top of this hill that I pulled out, like an old rotten tree stump there down in that. And yeah, 6 stings, arms swelled, got it on the chin, the back of the head, my back, and 3 in my arms. So we're going to avoid that for now. And we're going to go this way. I'm going to cut these branches and stuff off that are up high and make it just a nice clear path. It goes back to the beginning, that where we cross the stream is right there. See, the sand goes around and then there's a trail right there. So that's the crossing. So we just did the big full loop. So the old DeWalt chainsaw pole saw does a hell of a job. Cordless. Lasts quite a while. I trimmed out all the trees, you know, little limbs and stuff through these whole woods over top the trails on one battery. Does a good job. Blade's still sharp too. All right, let's wrap it up.